The day Jake Miller confessed to the pretty transfer student, everyone thought I would lose it and run over to cause a scene, but I never showed. Not even after it was all over. Jake had no clue that right then. I was sitting on his roommate's bed, wearing his roommate's hoodie, asking in frustration, "I got your bed all wet. How are you gonna sleep tonight?" Liam Carter looked away, his Adam's apple bobbing as he handed me a towel. "Go dry your hair. I'll change the sheets before you crash." Jake was going to confess to that pretty transfer student. He told everyone to keep it from me. He didn't know some blabbermouth couldn't wait to spill. Everyone knew I'd had a thing for Jake forever, even dreamed about marrying him one day. This time, Jake seemed totally head over heels. People were betting I'd throw a fit, cry, make a huge deal. Everyone loves that kind of drama. They were all waiting for me to snap and rush in to ruin it. But nope, even after Jake's successful confession, I was a no-show. The crowd, 3 layers deep, started getting bored. Jake himself didn't even look that happy. He had his arm around his new girlfriend and pulled out his phone. No calls, no texts. Jake frowned a little. Then he turned to the crowd. "Drinks are on me tonight. Everyone's invited." The classmates who'd been watching all cheered. I'd been standing behind some trees the whole time, and finally stepped out. Someone with sharp eyes spotted me and yelled, "Mia! Mia's here! Knew it! No way! Mia would stay away." Jake's head snapped up. The second he saw me, the corner of his mouth twitched, almost like a smile. I ignored all the people hungry for drama. I walked straight up to Jake. "Mia." Jake tightened his arm around his new girlfriend. He looked at me, his voice flat. "You can't force this stuff. We've known each other over 10 years. I don't want to say anything harsh, ruin what we had. From now on, you're still like a sister to me. If you need anything, you can still come to me." Then he lowered his voice. "With everyone watching, don't cause a scene here. Just go home." "Jake." I cut him off, taking a slow step forward. He frowned again. I smiled and held out the bracelet I just slipped off my wrist. "I came to give this back." Seeing the bracelet, Jake's face darkened. "Mia, what game are you playing now? Take it. I won't bother you after this." Jake stared at me, his voice dropping. "I don't care about the money. If you don't want it, toss it." As soon as the words were out, I turned and threw the bracelet into a nearby trash can. "You can throw out everything else I ever gave you too." With that, I walked away without looking back. By the time I reached the river, it was pouring. Standing there in the rain with an umbrella, I thought about the dreams I'd been having. In the dream, because Jake confessed to Chloe, I cried and made a scene. To force him to break up, I jumped into the river that night. And how did that end? I almost died. Jake stayed at the hospital for 5 minutes tops before leaving. The foster family, who took me in, thought I was an embarrassment for trying to kill myself. And with Jake's attitude, they decided I was useless. They made me drop out and sent me back to my birth parents, who were into every bad thing you can imagine. In the end, my life went downhill fast, and I died miserable, in a foreign country. After I died, the person who gathered what was left of me was the one I'd always been scared of, the one I kept my distance from. Lately, everything in the dreams had been coming true. If not for those dreams, I'd be blowing up Jake's phone right now. Then, I'd be threatening to jump. I'm grateful for that dream. The third time I dialed the number, he finally picked up. I clutched the phone, holding it to my ear. The name sat on my tongue before I finally said it. "Liam." The heavy rain drowned out the whole world. Only Liam's voice, a little lazy, came through deep and low. "Mia? Liam? It's pouring. I'm by the river. I can't get back. Can you come get me?" Silence on the other end for a few seconds. I nervously gripped the umbrella handle, my palms sweaty. In the dream, when Liam was gathering my remains, I think he cried. Tears fell one by one on what was left. Even in the dream, I could feel that burn. Later, he carried a little bottle of my ashes with him his whole life. And he was alone his whole life. My eyes stung. I choked back a sob. "Why are you crying?" Liam's voice came through suddenly. Still that indifferent tone, even a hint of annoyance. I didn't say I wouldn't come. So when, 15 minutes later, I gave my umbrella to a mom and kid hiding from the rain. So when Liam showed up, I was already soaked. Jetting out of the car, his lips were a thin line, his face cold as ice. I pushed my wet bangs back and looked up at him with a bright smile. "Liam, you're right on time. Mia, you're gonna catch your death being this dumb." Then he tossed a soft blanket at me. "Dree off. Don't get my car wet." He glanced at me in the rearview mirror, then smoothly turned the car around. Oh, I wrapped myself in the blanket. Then I couldn't help sneaking glances at him while he drove. When his face was blank, he looked cold, unapproachable. Lots of girls at school liked him, but no one dared to make a move. He was Jake's roommate. I used to go to Jake's dorm a lot, and every time, Liam seemed to really not like me. Even now, though he came to get me, he was still ice. When he shoved me into the car just now, he used extra force. Me wrist still hurt, a red mark circling it. Hard to tell he'd secretly liked me all along. I slowly lowered my gaze. Everything in the dream came true. But now, because I changed things, a lot changed too. If he didn't like me at all, wasn't I just causing him trouble? Back to the dorm. Liam glanced at me suddenly. My heart jumped. "Yeah, your dorm." Liam's grip on the wheel tightened. He let out a short laugh. "Jake won't be back tonight." "I know." I twisted the edge of the blanket. "I'm not looking for him." The car braked hard, pulling over. Liam turned to look at me, the ice in his eyes making me shiver. "Mia, don't use me in whatever game you're playing with Jake." "I'm not." He stared at me for a second, then pulled out his phone. "I'll call you a cab. Go back yourself." "Liam." I bit my lip hard and snatched his phone. "Mia." He looked at me. No anger, no disgust in his eyes, just deep like a whole storm was in there. I suddenly felt sad. "Liam, I don't want to go back to the dorm. They're all laughing at me. I'm scared to go home too. Can I just stay at your dorm tonight?" I hid his phone behind my back, my voice getting smaller. "Of course, if you really hate me that much, forget it." 8 headed toward campus, finally stopping at his dorm building. I followed Liam inside. He went to the closet, pulled out a clean hoodie, and handed it to me. Bathroom's there. He's tall, so the hoodie was huge on me. It went almost to my knees, like a dress. After my shower, I just had the hoodie on, bare legs. Liam glanced at me, then looked away fast. I walked past Jake's bed and sat on Liam's. Me wet hair dripped, quickly soaking the sheets. The shampoo, the soap on me, it was all Liam's smell. In the small room, the same scent was everywhere, a weird quiet intimacy growing. Liam pulled out a pack of cigarettes, cleared his throat. "Gonna smoke." I was about to check out his desk stuff when my phone rang. Jake flashed on the screen. I didn't answer. He called again, and again, like he wouldn't stop. I just put it on silent and tossed it back in my bag. "Liam." I called toward the balcony. He turned fast, put out his cigarette, and came over. "What?" Sitting on the bed, I had to look up at him. Liam's eyes met mine for 2 seconds, then darted away. But I saw the backs of his ears were red. "I got your bed all wet. How are you gonna gonna sleep tonight? Holding the towel, thinking of his red ears, I couldn't help smiling. When I came out, hair dried, Liam had already changed the sheets. Go to sleep. What about you? He pulled out a chair, not even looking. Al game. Oh, sat on his bed, kinda dejected. Liam put on his headset, was about to put it on, when his phone rang. He looked at the screen, then at me, before answering. Jake, what's up? My heart squeezed. I held my breath. Yeah, I'm in the dorm. Someone saw Mia at our building. Liam looked at me again. In a panic. I didn't let him finish. I got up, walked over, and climbed into his lap, my arms around his neck. When Liam moved to push me away, I pressed my mouth to his ear. Liam, tell him I'm not here. Under my arms, Liam's skin got hot, fast. I saw a vein in his neck pulse. His Adam's apple moved, his heart beating wild. I looked up at him. He looked down at me. In his eyes, something dark and wanting spread. Liam hung up as soon as the words were out. He tossed the phone aside, his long fingers gripping my waist through the hoodie, holding me tight, pressing me into him. I felt it, the heat, the want. My ears buzzed. My first thought was to run, but Liam held me tighter. Mia. His voice was rough. His hot breath was on my ear, my neck. I shivered, tried to move, but his kiss landed right on my lips. Don't tempt me. I don't want to touch you here. I squirmed, trying to adjust how I was sitting. The heat between us felt dangerous. When I could breathe, I finally got the words out. If you don't want to touch me, why are you kissing me? My lips are swollen. Mia. Liam. I frowned, tried to push his hands away, but Liam caught my fingers. Mia, don't move. I'll be gentler. As he finished, his hand slid to my lower back. He pulled me closer, tight against him. This kiss was long and soft. By the end, he lost control, kissing me deep. Liam. I pushed lightly at his chest, bit his lip between breaths. Mia. Liam's voice was wrecked. His whole body went tight. The heat from his hands was almost burning me. Still, Liam gently pushed me away, stood me up. I just thought his expression was strange, and there was a new smell in the air. I couldn't help asking, Liam, what just happened? His ears were blood red. The guy who was always so cold now had eyes full of raw want. I need a shower. He stood, his eyes down as he fixed the hem of my messy hoodie. Sleep. Before I could say anything, Liam was in the bathroom. When the water started, I lay on Liam's bed and curled up. Then I pressed the back of my hand to my burning face. I think I kinda guessed what happened, but Liam's tall, works out, all lean muscle, sharp jaw, strong hands. However you look at him, he doesn't seem like the type who'd finish that fast. Maybe he'd never had a girlfriend before, never been that close to a girl. Thinking that, my heart felt fizzy. He lay on Liam's pillow and felt something under it. A pearl earring. It looked familiar. It was one of a pair I wore all the time. Once, at Jake's dorm, I lost one and never found it. So Liam had it. I remembered. In those dreams, Liam always kept this earring. After a minute, I put it back under his pillow. The hairdryer stopped. When Liam came out, he wore navy blue pajamas. Steam made his skin look pale, with his hair neat. That sharp coldness was softer. Somehow Liam looked cute. I was about to call to him when I heard voices outside the door. My face fell. I froze. One of the voices was definitely Jake's. Liam's face darkened, but he was faster than me. By the time Jake pushed the door open, Liam had stuffed my clothes in the closet. My shoes were under the bed, way back, and Liam was just pulling back the blanket to get in. Only a nightlight was on. Dim, I was hidden under Liam's blanket. Just a small bump. Even if Jake came close, he wouldn't notice unless he looked hard. Why is it so dark in here? Jake asked. Got caught in the rain. Head hurts. As Liam spoke, he gently held my restless wrist under the blanket. The bed was only a twin. Liam was tall, took up space. I was pressed against him. My breath brushed his stomach. I felt his muscles tense. Okay. Jake didn't turn on the light. He sat in a chair, pulled out his phone, made calls. After a few calls with no answer, Jake was annoyed. Liam, you think Mia's doing this on purpose?